So this is Andrea.
And Daniel.
And we are showing you our trip taken February 12th through March 16th, 2016. After leaving our home in Wisconsin, we quickly traveled through Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas, and our first destination was Roswell, New Mexico. We arrived at Alamogordo, New Mexico, and this is pistachio country. We enjoyed going inside the store and looking at all the products of pistachios and seeing the trees where they grow.
Now, this is a view in the background. You can see white sands, so we're really close to white sands.
And this is just another pistachio place where we stopped. Now, White Sands National Monument was a very interesting place. We purposely went there later in the day so that we could see the sunset. What do you remember about it?
Remember that it was really large. It was on the east side that we entered, and then you look towards the west. And as you can see, the sunset's over the mountains. It was just something that we've never seen before.
We found out that the sand actually blows over that entire ridge of mountains. And it was so funny because we wanted to see the sunset, and they would drive this car through a megaphone and say, "You must leave the park now. You must leave the park." And it's like, no, we don't want to leave yet. Now here we are at Aguiar Spring Campground, where we spent, was it 1 night or 2 nights?
I think we spent 2 nights there resting up. We did a little walk in the evening, started a little bit later. We didn't realize that the sun was setting on the other side of the mountain there. It's the mountain range is called the Oregon Mountains.
Yeah, I remember we're walking and walking. I don't think we realized how long a hike this would be, and maybe we didn't leave until 2 p.m. And it was almost getting scary, not knowing if we'd get back before dark.
Yeah, you can see there's snow up in the mountains, but it was warm, and it was just something to experience. And not knowing the trail, we weren't certain it was bringing us back, because the mountain trails wind around.
Getting to be dusk, but we got back in time. The campground, and it was just always so fun to see the free roaming animals.
After we left that national park, We traveled north, and we were traveling up north to see Gila National Forest. We were just amazed at the roads that we were traveling on, so close to the side of the cliff.
Oh, here's the copper mines. We must have just passed this area going through. I just took this out of the moving vehicle, so there's a sunset. For thousands of years, groups of nomadic people used the caves of the Gila River as temporary shelter. In the late 1200s, people of the Mogollon culture decided it would be a good place to call home. They built rooms, crafted pottery, and raised children in the cliff dwellings for about 20 years. Then the Mogollon moved on, leaving the walls for us as a glimpse into the past.
And as we got there, we were amazed that they let us go up into the rooms, and we could view the soot on the ceilings and imagine living there. The open space was quite large, and the rooms were quite small, as the walls kind of indicated, but just to be able to walk up and down. And imagine raising a family here and trying to maintain the safety of the children must have been paramount, but it was really a wonderful place to see.
We came to this national park where it's, I thought it was called Saguaro, but it's actually pronounced Saguaro National Park. And it's one of the very few places where this type of cactus is grown. So there is a road that goes through, and we were just able to look at the different heights. They're all shaped differently, and it was fun taking photographs of them all. Montezuma Castle National Monument protects a set of well-preserved dwellings located in Camp Verde, Arizona, which were built and used by the Sinagua people approximately between 1100 and 1425 AD. enjoyed this city called Jerome, Arizona, located near the top of Cleopatra Hill between Prescott and Flagstaff is the historic copper mining town of Jerome. Tuzagut National Monument preserves a 2 to 3 story pueblo ruin on the summit of a limestone and sandstone ridge just east of Clarksdale, Arizona. It's 120 feet above the Verde River floodplain. And this included quite a bit of hiking up and down, and it was a curvy pathway. It was very, very interesting. Sedona is an Arizona desert town near Flagstaff that's surrounded by red rock buttes, steep canyon walls, and pine forests. It's noted for its mild climate and vibrant arts community. Uptown Sedona is dense with the new age shops, spas, and art galleries. On the town's outskirts, numerous trailheads access Red Rock State Park, and that offers bird watching, hiking, and picnicking spots.
We didn't stop in this town because we got there, the traffic seemed to be really busy in the town. So we tried to stop, but we couldn't find a place to park, so we just drove through it and we were able to say that we were there.
Well, we had a 24-foot motorhome, so it wasn't easy to find a parking spot for the motorhome. It's a Class C. Sunset Crater is a cinder cone located north of Flagstaff in Arizona. The crater is within the Sunset Crater Volcano National Monument. Sunset Crater is the youngest in a string of volcanoes that is related to the nearby San Francisco peaks. So we did quite a bit of walking around here. They have a lot of paths, and we took all these pictures.
We were amazed that I think where we were there, we were the only vehicle viewing this, but this was in the end of February, so not too many people out. It was a cold day, but very beautiful.
The elevation here is 8,028 feet. The mountain range is called San Francisco Volcanic Field. Walnut Canyon National Monument is located about 10 miles southeast of downtown Flagstaff, Arizona, near Interstate 40. The canyon rim elevation is 6,690 feet. The canyon's floor is 350 feet lower.
And this was quite a big trail. This civilization built around like a little peninsula that was jutting out, and their dwellings were all under the rock face cliffs. But there was a pathway that we followed all the way around, and again, it was something I've never seen before. Very unique. Well, we left Flagstaff and we started to head a little bit northwest, and was kind of skirting lower, just under or just below the Grand Canyon rim, and we're coming up towards Hoover Dam.
Hoover Dam is a concrete arch gravity dam on the Black Canyon of the Colorado River. And it's on the border between the states of Nevada and Arizona. It was constructed between 1931 and 1936 during the Great Depression, and was dedicated on September 30th, 1935 by President Franklin D. Roosevelt.
Now, we stayed one night at Lake Mead. That was before we went into Las Vegas. So it was something to see. The water level at that time had dropped a little bit, but I guess lately it's dropped a lot more.
Yeah, they're saying that it affects Hoover Dam's productivity even. It's at the lowest levels ever.
Yeah, and now this is the first time that we've entered Las Vegas as a couple here, and it was quite the thing. We had to look for parking for our Winnebago view. So we drove through the main drag and noticed that all the parking ramps and had a height limit of like 9 feet, and our view was right around 11 feet, so we were really at a loss to where we were going to park just to go visit and walk around the area. Luckily, we found a spot that was just off the main drag over the highway. It was an industrial spot, but we were able to park in a nice area and walk maybe 2 blocks back over towards the main drag.
Yeah, and we spent, I think, almost all day walking the entire strip. And yeah, it was a fun day. We would go into all the casinos and just see. We're not gamblers. We didn't do a lot of gambling, but just to witness all the buildings that are on both sides, it was really something. And we did so much walking. By the time we were coming back, it was already getting dark.
Yeah, we tried to see some of the different things that you'd want to see, the water shows, and trying to time all that. Sometimes we were on the wrong side of the street. But one of the things that was really unique was that you could walk through one casino into another casino. It seems like they were all intertwined. And then the walkways too were mostly above the road. We didn't have to walk across the road, main road, too often. We were able to find a bridge that skirted the roads.
I think one of the most exciting stops in this entire trip had to be seeing the Grand Canyon. It is just the most exhilarating experience we have had on this trip to the Southwest. Everybody has to make a point to stop here and spend as much time as possible. It is just the most awesome thing to see, and there is no photography that can make this look as
grand as it is.
Grand. Yes.
It was overwhelming.
Yes, it is just unbelievable. We made our first stop. Of course, we're on the south rim. The north rim was not open at this time. They closed down for the winter months, and that's when we traveled. So we made a point to go to the west side first.
We heard about the skywalk, and it's owned by the Native Americans there, and we figured we had to see it. It's supposed to be one of the wonders of the world, even though it's man-made, and it lived up to its reputation. It It was really something to see.
Yeah, so I just want to give you a few facts about that breathtaking 10-foot wide horseshoe-shaped glass bridge. It extends 70 feet out over the rim of the Grand Canyon, giving you a clear view of 4,000 feet to the canyon floor below. And it was the strangest thing to step out onto that glass walkway because you can see all the way down and you feel like tiptoeing. It is almost scary. And they make you put on little
booties,
like material booties over your shoes because you're on
you couldn't
glass.
take any pictures while you were out there either.
You have to leave your cell phone and camera in a locker. I think that was the one disappointing thing because you pay good money to go out to that skywalk and then you couldn't take pictures. But anyway, it is strong enough to hold 70 fully loaded 747 passenger jets. Can you imagine? Strong enough to hold 70 747 jets. It's just amazing. As soon as we got there, we got into the Mather campground, and that's located in Grand Canyon Village, and it's quite large. There's 327 sites there.
Now we got there and it was still winter rates, which we were happy to see because we already had a half price payment plan because of our age, our senior pass, and then we got half price on top of that or a reduced rate because it was winter rates.
And we were close enough so that we could walk to the
there's a little grocery store and a little stop where the trolley that takes you around the different spots at the Grand Canyon. So that was all part of the National Park Pass that you were there. There was no cost for these trolleys.
Well, I don't think it's considered to be a trolley. It was the bus stop.
A bus.
So all our tours where you get on a bus, we were within walking distance of that, so that was nice.
Because you weren't able to drive on these roads. They were just the National Park vehicles were allowed, so it was just a really nice thing to find out. We weren't aware of it before we got there. So.
And there's many stops to make along the way, so you really do want to take the bus trips. And it's just jump on, jump off as you like, so it was nice. Hermit's Rest is a structure built in 1914 at the western end of Hermit Road at the south rim of the Grand Canyon. There is a hiking trail that extends to the Colorado River, and that begins about a quarter mile beyond the shuttle bus stop at Hermit's Rest.
Now these elk were right outside our campground, right outside our camper. So
Actually, right in our sight, yes. They were spotted all over the place.
and again, the views here, it's just the pictures just do not justify it. You got to be there. I was afraid to get even close to the edge. It was just that deep. I've never seen anything like that before.
We decided to do the lower Antelope Canyon tour because that, one had steps, and I think the one we took didn't have any steps.
We just drove up to the entrance and we were able to walk through these carved out gorges, or whatever you want to call them. It was just something really amazing.
And this is on Navajo land east of Page, Arizona. And it includes two separate scenic slot canyon sections, and that's the upper and the lower. Glen Canyon is a natural canyon carved by a 169.6 mile length of the Colorado River. Overnight in our motorhome, and we got up really early because our goal was to see the sunrise at Horseshoe Bend, and it was just spectacular. It was just so much fun. Didn't we even eat breakfast then at that time when we were there? But this is just a sight to see. It's part of the Colorado River and part of the Glen Canyon National Recreation Area.
It's another amazing thing. It's just, you can't fathom how deep these gorges are.
Navajo National Monument is a national monument located within the northwest portion of the Navajo Nation Territory in northern Arizona, which was established to preserve three well-preserved cliff dwellings of the ancestral Puebloan people. When you get to the photo we have of the article or the write-up on Voices in the Canyon, press your
Pause
stop,
button.
Pause button to read that. It's very interesting. It gives more information on the years and everything.
And we viewed it from the other side of the canyon. You weren't able to go down to these dwellings at all. So it was just amazing. I think I had to use a telephoto lens to be able to really see how these structures were made. And on our way out of Arizona, we stopped at the Four Corners National Monument, but that was again on Native American land, and we didn't stop there though.
Spending time with friends in northern New Mexico, we continued going east on our way home. We spent one night over at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Tulsa, which is located in Catoosa, Oklahoma.
And just then continued on our way home. We were stopping at different areas that we thought might be interesting.
Going through Arkansas.
We spent one night at a national park along the river. I was just amazed at the signage that was up, making sure that you knew that if it started to rain, that this area was prone to flash flooding, so we had to be aware of that.
We had a burger at this burger barn. What's it called?
Probably Ozark.
Yeah. I couldn't read the first word.
Then just the interesting terrain around the Ozarks too. It's the first time we were aware of these, just the mountains. Kind of reminds us now of the Smoky Mountains, but then just the whole area. Ended up in Branson, right?
Yeah, we knew we had a chance now to really see Branson, Missouri, so we did go to a couple shows there. We had a real nice campground too. That was nice. It's kind of up on a hill.
It was up on a hill. We're on the side of a hill. It was just right off the main drag.
It wasn't in the downtown main drag area, but it was nice.
We've seen the Imitators, Johnny Cash, Tina Turner, Blues Brothers,
Michael Jackson, Elvis. I think that's all the show.
That was all the show that was at that.
Was at that one.
Here's the Mountain Blue.
Oh, that's the name of the campground.
Right.
Okay.
We continued on our way back home. Stopped at the Amish country there.
Well, that was a store that was close to downtown. And we're back into Illinois, visiting more family on our way home.
See my son and his family.
So we went to this site, walking through like canyon walls, and
this was right out of Carbondale, and then we went down to the Ohio River to view the cave along the river that was notorious for thieves and swindlers during the era when everybody used the Ohio River to head west.
Our family took us to the Mesker Park Zoo and Botanic Garden in Evansville, Indiana, and that was a very nice visit. The Botanical Garden Park was just beautiful. I'm not showing you a lot of the photos we took of all the flowers and animals that we saw. It was very unique. It's nice to see different zoos from around the country.
And this was really close to the end of our trip, and the last few pictures we'll be sharing here is just kind of showing picture here and there on our way back. It was a very nice trip. Wasn't that long. I think, how long was this trip?
Our trip was 1 month and 4 days, so February to March 2016.